conducting last week, which that I would like to introduce
Points of your second chapter.
Johnson. Oh, sorry, the DC.
Good morning. My name is NIQS Deputy Chairman, NIQS Legal Chapter.
Yes.
Okay. My name is NIQS Aziz Agban. I'm the General Secretary for NIQS Legal.
My name is Kevin Said Desini, the Treasurer of NIQS Legal Chapter.
My name is Fatia Omolala, the Financial Secretary of NIQS Legal Chapter.
My name is Oluwato Simogo Shemori, the Assistant General Secretary, NIQS Legal Chapter.
My name is Sheomo Boywa, the Computer Secretary of NIQS Legal Chapter.
Let's hand over to the chairman to take it from here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Basically, we all know the reason why we are here. We are okay. You are not introduced.
Anyways, let's meet you, our pressman from Punch.
I'm just here with the Punch newspaper.
Famous gist.
I will go coin from Lagos Gist.
And
My name is Bertram, from the Gambian newspaper.
our live show. Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Adi Apo from Agent Studios.
And pressman over there.
Okay, my name is Kyle Dealao from Silverbird Television.
And we have a lot of you.
Lagos Gist.
No.
Let's say that's Lagos Gist. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Surely you have a copy. We all know basically the reason why we are here. Let me first of all start by creating a protocol, because there's no protocol that has been established yet. So let me start by creating the protocol. The Deputy Chairman, QS Femi Falusi, FNIQS, no, you forgot to mention FNIQS. FNIQS, the Deputy Chairman, the General Secretary, QS Aziz Agban, MNIQS, the Treasurer, the Exchequer of NIQS Legal Chapter, QS Said Dosumu, MNIQS, and the Assistant General Secretary, QS Tosi Opishimori, MNIQS, the Financial Secretary, QS Fatia Yusuf, MNIQS, the Buruburu of our time, QS John Agbezi, MNIQS, and then our competent member, the strong Senate member, President of QS Sheung Omoboyewa, MNIQS, and the members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all start by stating the theme. The theme for this year's press briefing is 50 years of quantity surveying in Lagos, Nigeria, past, present, and future. I am honored to sit before you today to celebrate a milestone achievement for our chapter, 50 years of quantity surveying in Lagos, Nigeria. This occasion marks a significant moment in the history of our profession, and we are proud to have reached this milestone. Over the past 50 years, quantity surveyors in Lagos have played a vital role in shaping the built environment of our great city. From the construction of iconic landmarks to the development of infrastructure, our members have been instrumental in delivering projects that have transformed the face of Lagos. We are proud of our heritage and the contributions we have made to the growth and development of our city. Today, quantity surveyors in Lagos continue to play a critical role in the construction industry. Our members are involved in various projects, from residential and commercial buildings to infrastructure development. We are committed to delivering value to our clients, stakeholders, and the public. As we look to the future, we are excited about the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. The construction industry is evolving rapidly, and quantity surveyors must adapt to new technologies, trends, and best practices. We are committed to continuous professional development, innovation, and collaboration to ensure that our members remain relevant and competitive in the industry. To commemorate this milestone, we had organized a series of events, some of which had already been carried out, like the Golden Jubilee edition of the Distinguished Lecture Series tagged Building a Resilient Lagos Megacity, the role of sustainable infrastructure in economic growth, with the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, as the keynote speaker, held on Thursday, 10th of July 2025 at Muson Center. And an annual family picnic held on Wednesday, 1st October 2025, organized for the chapter members and their families to unwind and enjoy the Independence Day celebration of the country. Other events lined up for the anniversary ceremony include a week-long celebration as follows. On Tuesday, which is today, 4th November 2025, we plan to hold a press conference to briefing, which is already holding. Then after this, we'll be visiting the Old People's Home at Sabo Yaba for charity purpose. On Wednesday, 5th November 2025, we'll be having a symposium for conservation students in University of Lagos. Then secondly, we'll now be donating BSMN 4R, and that is a very, very important document for conservators to QS departments of Unilag, Lasus Tech, Yaba Tech, and Lasu. Then on Friday, 7th November 2025, we'll be having a Jumat special prayer by Muslim members of NIQS Lagos chapter at the Unilag Central Mosque, Akoka, Yaba, Lagos. Then followed by the Chairman's Cup football final, which will also be held at Unilag. Then on Saturday, 8th November 2025, that's when we'll be having our annual general meeting at the Syrian Club Event Center, Ibadu Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Followed by the grand finale of our celebration, which is the Golden Jubilee Dinner and Awards Night to honor 50 distinguished members of NIQS Lagos chapter. Then on Sunday, 9th November 2025, we'll be having an interdenominational Thanksgiving prayer by Christian members of NIQS Lagos chapter at the Unilag Chapel, Akoka, Yaba, Lagos. The events were planned to bring together industry stakeholders, professionals, and experts to discuss the past, present, and future of quantity surveying in Lagos. We invite all members of the press to join us and share in the celebration of our 50 years of quantity surveying in Lagos. Call to action. As we celebrate this milestone, we urge the government, industry stakeholders, and the public to recognize the value of quantity surveyors in the construction industry. We call for increased collaboration, support, and recognition of our profession, which has contributed significantly to the development of our city. In conclusion, I would like to express my gratitude to our members, stakeholders, and partners for their support and contributions to the success of our chapter. We are proud of our achievements and look forward to the future with optimism. Thank you and God bless.
Wow.
So I don't know if we entertain questions or if there's any contribution from.
I have a contribution, Mr. Priest. My name is Bertrand.
regarding this program. First, I want to congratulate you. 50 years is not a joke. And you have been, if you have reached the age of 50, you are coming in and getting old. I think they have said you have crossed the mark. So I just want to congratulate you. And first, I want to bring this to attention. In the fact of the timing of press briefing. And it will have been better. My own suggestion is that you do the press briefing before you start your week, so that it can become like an advert for you. You will now talk about what you intend to do, unlike why you are doing it already in the week. So yeah, maybe going forward, you can look into it and see whether it will be nice for you, but I think it's better. Then my question is, you made a call to action. Before you made a call to action, there must be a process or there must be reason for it. Now, the question is, in your feeling, do you think that Nigeria has accorded quantities of oils its rightful place in the built construction industry? That's number one. Then I have to, because I know my sister will ask so many again. So, then one of the critical problem that government have been battling is in the built environment is the issue of building collapse. Recently, that is the first time in Nigeria, even the minister brought in to actually have a task force. They call it a ministerial task force. Ensure that this muster, let me go that word, muster, even though if it's not going away, at least we can keep it small because of the number of deaths, attendant death, resources too, both for the private sector and the government in always mobilizing. It's not easy mobilizing people there always, and you have sources. So my question now is that what area do you think that you can, what role do you think you can play to ensure that construction failures or building failures are brought to the various, at least even if it's once in a year, at least let's start there. Because the rate and the way and manner buildings are falling, both old ones, and because sometimes they say it used to be old ones. Those ones you say it's old ones now, but now new ones, new buildings under construction caving in. So I just want to get, what do you feel that government should do, and what do you feel from the point of quantity surveillance, whether it could be followed? Of course, you know that on Saturday was the fifth anniversary of the Gerard building collapse, November 1. And it's the tallest building that have caved in Nigeria, and the number of casualties, and maybe for the very first time where the owner of the building was even that involved. So that's just some of the things I wanted to address. Thank you very much.
We take all questions.
Okay, maybe we take. Okay, so you can.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, the observation you made is well taken, and that's why it's good that we have some of our senior key officers around, that even if I'm no more there as the chairman, they've heard you, and we're going to work on that. In fact, We actually planned to have the press conference long before now, even before we started the. It's not QS Week, by the way. We are celebrating our 50 years anniversary.
Yes.
So the QS Week is just a part
Part
of
of it.
the programs to be done to celebrate our 50th anniversary. So it's well taken, and I assure you, when next we're having such a program, we surely start with the press briefing. Now, on the question you asked about the recognition of QS conservators in Nigeria by both federal, states, and even the private, I can assure you that that is a thing of the past now. And these conservators are well known both at federal, state level, and also at the private level. It's just that what we are saying, and that's why I said the call to action, that they should engage them more in most of these our infrastructural development. Because it's like you are being restricted to just the building area. We also have the infrastructure aspect, civil engineering, heavy engineering, the oil and gas, and what have you. So we are trying to like make a kind of pronouncements to the stakeholders, those that are involved, to know that by engaging conservators, we'll be able to give you value for your money. And not only value for your money, even like the government, that we are talking about the economy. We are trying to see how we want to manage the economy. Like the present government that we have now, the renewed hope agenda. You know, we are trying to see how they can pilot our economy to a level that we'll all be happy with. The government cannot do it alone without the services of the country surveyor. I can guess how much was it done and all that. If from the onset, the country surveyor was involved from the design stage to the implementation stage, maybe we won't be having these arguments that we are having. But because the engineers are the ones that are taking over, they are the designers, they are the estimators, the executioners also. It's not, there's be checks and balances. So that's why we are making this noise, for the government to know that there is a profession that is in charge of such an aspect of the construction industry. So that's that on that.
So what you're saying that to come a lot of wastages that could have been mitigated.
Yes,
if,
exactly. If use of, because when we are preparing our documents, we prepare it to detail. We are always both surveyors, we are always detailed in our estimation, unlike the engineers that will just be making provisional sum for lots, sums.
Transparency.
There's no transparency and all that. But with the country surveyor, we are going to give them a detailed information of.
Can you also use this opportunity to talk about the debate of debt care and
BOQ and Benin. That's my favorite aspect, because that has been what I've been fighting for even before I became the chairman. That I just pray one day in this country we'll get to that level that everyone will maintain their lane. Permit me to use that phrase. Everyone should maintain their lane. When it comes to cost, the cost experts in the whole construction industry team is the country surveyor. So we don't know why the engineers are also going into costing, because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the training that the country surveyors have when it comes to preparing costs of executing projects. So they call it BEME, Bill of Engineering, Measurements and Evaluation, whatever they call it. That document is not being recognized worldwide. It's only recognized in Nigeria. But the document that is recognized worldwide is what we call the Bill of Quantities, which is being prepared by a quantity surveyor in this client. In some other client, they call them the estimators. In some, they even call them the cost engineers. So you can see, everything is all boiled down to being a quantity surveyor. So when the engineers are always making the case that the payment. If you see the payment, you might be having a payment of just like 2 or 3 pages. While the BOQ will be well packaged, detailed, everything to the nail that you'll be using on the construction site. We'll measure it, evaluate it, and then give you the actual cost, what it will be. If there's going to be any deviance, it will be a minor, maybe plus or minus, maybe 5%. But in their own case, it's always lots that you see. And it's just a sheet. And you'll be talking about billions or trillions. I'm sure if you see the bill for the coastal road, maybe it might be only 1 page. That project of that magnitude. So that's why we as conservators are trying to push and fight for our own rights, which we feel is being encroached by our sister profession, the engineers. So that's that. Then we are talking about building collapse. Yes, building collapse in the first instance. People thought the conservators don't have a role to play when it comes to the issue of building collapse. I would say that is totally wrong. You see, when the architect designs, gives us the design as a drawing, the architectural drawing, the structural drawing, the mechanical drawing, the electrical drawing, they present it, or they submit it to the conservator to prepare a detailed bill of quantities. While the conservator is doing that, he is placing some specifications in the description of the kind of materials to be used and the kind of workmanship to be carried out when you are executing this project. But at the end of the day, because of the costs, some clients might feel the cost is too much and they'll try to circumvent. Sometimes they'll not even be the client, they'll even be the contractor himself. They'll try to circumvent and say, okay, this is too much. Let me use, instead of using let's say for instance, you specify maybe a 16 mm gauge, high tensile TNT reinforcement to be used. Maybe the contractor might decide and say, why should I use 16 mm? If I use 12 mm and add more of it to it, and then maybe decides not to use TNT, decides to use a local. At the end of the day, you get a building collapse. So it has nothing to do with maybe structural engineers' design was not followed or not. Sometimes it might be due to the reduction in terms of maybe they want to save costs and they'll decide to now reduce the standard of the materials they are supposed to use. So you can see now that the conservator is also involved. So what I would just advise the government to be doing, and that's one of what we are trying to advocate for, that while doing building approvals, that maybe the government should also be asking for a bill of quantities. That's the estimate of how much it will cost to complete that building before even giving the approval. So from there you will know the capacity or the wherewithal of the clients, that is the client, will this client be able to carry out this project when it begins. That way you can be able to evaluate and know that, okay, good, with this cost the consortium has presented, I'm not sure this man is going to do this job. Maybe that should be another way or mechanism that the government can be using to check all those either clients or the contractors that would like to cut corners in terms of the cost. Then also, I also like to add that there's this agency, or let me say an organization that has been called, I don't know if you've heard of them before, we call them the BCPG. That's the Building Collapse
Prevention.
Conservators are part of them. So you can see that we also have a big role to play. If we are not relevant, we will not be invited to be part of. And in the past, conservators have even headed that organization before. So thank you very much. I don't know if, okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that response, sir. Following up with your questions, you notice that they are trying to manage cost, which also leads to collapse. Recently, developers have, or should I say recently, the government rolled out plans, 3-bedroom apartment for 25 million naira for permanent secretaries and the rest. Do you think that's feasible?
Well, the government will tell you affordable. When they say it is affordable, it is subjective. I can argue it out that it's not affordable. But in some other vein, I will also agree with the government that it is affordable because of the current trend of things in the country. Now, the cost of buying a bag of cement now, you can't compare it how much it was it's being sold in the past let me say 4 or 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a kind of serious increase in the prices of materials. So to some extent they are saying it is affordable. Yes, I will agree. No, I will not agree again, because the reason is that when you want to make things affordable for people, especially for the government, there should be subsidy. What do I mean by that? If the building at the end of the day is being constructed and it costs you like maybe 25 million, why should you sell it to the people at the cost of 25 million? Why don't you give out subsidies for it to make it affordable? Instead of making it 25 million, why don't you sell it for maybe like 15? And we assume that the government has subsidized. The government are there for the people. So you want to create more shelter for your citizens, and you are making it more difficult for them. A permanent secretary, yes, can afford it. A permanent secretary should be able to afford it with the level of which they are. But there are ways that government can even do it, that you can make it affordable for the less privileged. There should be the 25 million you are talking about. I'm sure must be a massive construction, a massive building that a permanent secretary should be able to afford. But for medium or low income earners, you can also consider them and then give them those kind of economically acceptable dwelling for them to be able to also enjoy part of what the government is trying to do. The government is trying. I'm not trying to but that's why I said it is two ways. It is subjective. You might be on the side of accepting that yes, it is affordable by that argument I just stated. But you can also be on the other side that look, it is not affordable if you look at other factors that I've also stated.
Lisa, can you also speak on maybe addressing the root causes? For instance, the price of cement. I recently had iron rods has skyrocketed as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and also when it comes to the youth as well, rent to own. UPDC noted they've stopped theirs because of the increase in cost and things like that. What's the way forward? What can we do to address this?
Well, as part of what the government is trying to do to make sure that it's affordable, that's why they are using that term rent to own, which is really working. I must tell you the truth. But as it is, it's not that easy, because like they have also admitted, cost of materials are escalating every day. In fact, at a point, it's like per seconds, it's increasing. So it's not really easy to invest that much in a development after erecting the building, and now expecting people to be paying bit by bit. How do you recover? As in the return on investment will be very, very poor at that level. So I think that's why the government is looking at a way of another way of maybe by mortgage. I think mortgage is another good one. Let us go into more of I think that's what is happening in the Western world. It is mortgage that they use to be able to cater for their citizens. So instead of this pay at once that we normally do over here, I think let's explore that option of mortgage.
But our mortgage system seems faulty.
How? Faulty as I want to know.
Okay, it's a short term. It's in short term. It's supposed to be long term with other terrains. Even if we're trying to run to the mortgage system and there's a particular, our minimum wage is 70,000 naira. There's a particular threshold before you can even get a mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah, so these irregularities, like.
Is it really for the poor?
Basically, I think it has to do with the policy, government policy. You've just said it now, that there's a particular threshold that you must reach. Why can't the government change the policy and then make it affordable? Because the government is looking at a way of another way of
So what policy do you think do you advise?
Yeah, like the issue of the threshold. Why can't you make it much more affordable? That's depending on the category of your income, how much you earn. You go for what your income can afford. So it shouldn't be zero whereby they'll place an advert that should come and take mortgage to get maybe for some housing development that has been raised by the government. At the end of the day, you now look at your income. You can't afford the percentage that they'll ask you to, the down payment that they'll ask you to pay. You cannot afford it. All because your income is not up to that. But by the time you have different categories, there are different dwellings that can be erected by the government. We have the bungalows, we have the story building, we have semi-detached, we have the ones that you can construct in a way that 10 or up to 15 families can live in a building. Thank you, terraces. You have them that should be affordable for you can have 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. So you go according to what your income can afford. So it won't be as if you are advertising 3-bedroom maisonette building and you're asking a level 6 or level 7 officer to go for that. He cannot afford it. So you have to make it a kind of win-win situation for everyone. Cater for everyone, not just for the affluents.
Sorry. Talking about the issue of our mortgage system, housing provisions, affordability, and all of that, I think one of the challenge is about information. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has that window to provide mortgage, long-term mortgage for citizens for up to even 30 years repayment plan, depending on how old you are as at the time of applying or how much more do you have to spend in service, you know. But then that information is not so much out there.
It's already available.
Yes, that's number one. Then the other part is the fact that you know the nature of our country. There are a lot of things being done through the back door. People take advantage of the fact that they have people in government and takes everything that is supposed to belong to, you know, other members of the public, the masses. That's another part. Then if you are
So, sir, are you trying to say corruption is eroding?
Yes,
the
of
mortgage
course. That's
system?
part of that. Yes, I'm going there. Now talking about still the issue of mortgage. I can remember as of 2006, 7, 8, 9, thereabout. There are times where you can easily get a 3-bedroom bungalow built for about, I think, 4.5 million or thereabout. And then companies that were given developers loan by the government were selling for about 7.5 million at that time. But what happens? These companies will get the loan from the government and then refuse to build the required numbers of houses they are to build, refuse to give people who are subscribing their houses as at when due, when those people are already assessed mortgage and have started paying back from their salaries. So these are the issues, and that was why I think the government stopped that particular system and say, okay, if you need mortgage, come directly to the government. Let's see the documents that you have. Where is the land? Where is your title? And all of that. So I think it is not just about the government alone. The citizens, you know, the people, we also have a lot of role to play. That's that. Then if we now look at the issue of